Here's a question for you. How far does your money actually go in West Palm Beach? And people hear South Florida and immediately assume Miami prices, and that's not really the case. But it's also not very cheap. So, in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly what you can get for 300, 500, 800K in Palm Beach County right now in 2026. So hopefully that helps you to figure out, in this market, how to navigate your particular situation. Hopefully we can give you some examples of what we can find for your budget, before you even have to book your flight. So stay tuned, let's check it out. As always, thanks for tuning in. My name is Maximilian. I'm a Palm Beach County real estate agent here, specializing in relocations, and I talk to buyers every week from all over the country, whether it's New York, Ohio, Michigan, Boston, California. The number one question that I always get is, can I actually afford this? And so let me break it down for you. All right, first, before we get deeper into this, let's take a quick snapshot of the market. The median sales price here in Palm Beach County for a single family home is actually right around $630,000 right now. Now, for condos and townhomes, a median is closer to 310. And here's the one thing that's important. Those are county-wide numbers. West Palm Beach actually has a median that's closer to, probably 485, maybe 500K. And so there's a massive range depending on what exact neighborhood you're actually targeting, and obviously also what kind of property type you're targeting. So let me show you a couple of examples, what each price point looks like on the ground over here. So around $300,000, you're primarily looking at the condo market, maybe townhomes. You can find solid 1 or maybe even 2-bedroom condos that are close to the city center. For instance, I'm thinking of Legacy Gardens or Palm Beach Lakes. These are good options, certainly in that price range. Now, they usually have great school zoning, so it could be good for first-time home buyers. If you're looking to maybe find a first investment property, maybe that's a good entry point as well. What you got to consider is that, this will be not in a very luxurious area, obviously. You're not going to be right on the water. If you do want to find a condo that's on the water, you're probably pushing it there. You got to get further into North Palm Beach. That might be an option over there. But generally speaking, around 300K, you will be with probably about 15, maybe 20 minutes away from the beach, and also the same distance to downtown. Okay, let's look into 500K. So here's where you will find a significant change in the available inventory. So this is where you start seeing single family homes with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, garage, little yard in solid neighborhoods. I'm thinking, for instance, Flamingo Park is a great one. Northwood, obviously, it's booming right now, or some of the suburban communities west of I-95. You're also looking at updated townhomes that are closer to the intracoastal, not necessarily probably with a view of the water, but there are some decent options in the vicinity of downtown. We're talking maybe like 5-10 minutes away. 500K in West Palm, I would say, buys you what probably 800 or maybe even 900K would cost you in Miami. So the value, the value play that draws so many people into the city is really that immediate comparison. More bang for the buck, essentially. Now at 800,000, you're getting into the premium tier, luxury condos with, views of the water, views of Palm Beach Island, maybe even ocean views at times, depending on how high you are. So you'll find that mainly along Flagler Drive, there are great options. But you can also get beautifully, remodeled historic homes in either El Cid, which is south of downtown. We call it Soso, south of Southern. That's a great area as well. So you'll find really, architecturally really interesting older homes. You can also start looking at gated communities, for instance, further out west, you have Westlake, our new construction developments, or Arden. There's a couple of golf course communities that, certainly could be an option at this price point as well. Obviously at this price tag, $800,000, you're not just buying the house, but also the lifestyle around it, right? So you're gonna have amenities that are really premium, resort style living essentially that you can get to enjoy them. So in my mind, really, the key takeaway here is Palm Beach County has a huge variety, depending on price point and where exactly you're looking, that most people probably wouldn't expect. And so there's a real entry point, if you're a first-time home buyer or if you have a different budget level, there are certainly, a range of options that might be, something you might want to consider. The challenge is really knowing which neighborhoods make sense for your goals, depending on schools, what your commute is, your lifestyle. That's exactly where we can help you, right? This is something that we do day in and out. You can download our free relocation guide. It's in the description. We got a full breakdown of the best neighborhoods, certain costs to expect depending on where you are, or price ranges, I should say. And of course, if you feel like there's any value, you can go ahead and book a free strategy call with us, where we can help you to map out where exactly you would get the best bang for the buck, and depending on what your goals are. So if you feel like there's any questions that may have been left unanswered in this video, drop a comment so we'll know, what to incorporate in our next video. Or if you're open to it, you can of course book that free strategy session with us, where we'll help you to map out, what your potential next steps could be, and maybe what neighborhoods we would consider depending on what your goals are. All right, thanks for watching, and stay tuned on the next video.